transition into our next story, an interesting development in the race for the mayoral office of the city of Chicago. There's the mayoral clown car circling, and the next candidate to step out of the mayoral clown car, who's just been endorsed by Chicago Teachers Union, is Brandon Johnson. Now, this came from Crane's Chicago Business. Chicago Teachers Union endorses Brandon Johnson for mayor before he's even entered the race. Look, no one will judge you for using... Wait, what is this? I'm reading from the article here. It doesn't... Okay, sorry. There was something at the top of the article here that didn't really make sense to the story content. Anyway, there's Brandon Johnson. The Chicago's Teacher Union and influential progressive party United Working Families have officially endorsed Cook County Commissioner Brandon Johnson for mayor ahead of his expected entry in the race. And Ed, you and I were talking about his name recognition value not being very high, but maybe now with the CTU's endorsement, it will gain attention. Because now, Chuy Garcia asked the CTU not to make an endorsement yet while he mulls over running. And they're like, no, sorry, we're doing it. We got it. Yeah. According to a source, the CTU House of Delegates approved a resolution in support of Johnson by an overwhelming vote Wednesday evening. Johnson is also a former teacher who's worked for the union over the last decade as a political organizer. Last weekend, United Working Families endorsed a resolution urging Johnson, who is also a member of the party, to join the mayor's race, pledging their support. The United Working Families resolution says Johnson is not merely better than the alternative, nor merely values aligned, but is truly a leader in our party, including recruiting UWF members to serve in his campaign and develop his platform as he considers a run for mayor. Now, this is all good, but he's only like in the middle of his first term as Cook County Commissioner. And one of the comments I made on our last show was like, for him to jump ship from whatever good he's doing there, because suddenly this is opening up for him without the name recognition that I think is very valuable for anybody that wants to run against Lightfoot and her, what she's got in her campaign war chest. I don't know if this is like the greatest strategy. I'm glad that he's a leader, in everything he's done, and he's got the same values, that's not an endorsement for Chuy Garcia. And as you all know, I'm also a big fan of Jamal Green, who's actually been doing shit on the streets. He's not just talking the talk, he's walking the walk, being involved in his communities. Johnson has hinted at a run for months, including repeatedly using the phrase "when I'm mayor" at a Northwest Side mayoral forum last week, but has not officially entered the race. The first-term county commissioner has promised progressive organizations he's a coalition builder that would invite them into his campaign to build a platform. He's also promised to run at the top of a ticket with like-minded aldermanic candidates. That's a strategy that worked on the Northwest Side in the June primary, where progressives nearly swept every race they organized for, including State Representative Delia Ramirez's overwhelming defeat of Alderman Gilbert Villegas, 36, for the 3rd Congressional District. An up-and-down slate really helps us consolidate our resources and move a unified political message, United Working Families Executive Director Emma Tai said Wednesday. The point is not just to win, but to build power, build organizations, and shift the Overton window of what's discussed in Chicago politics. Thanks for that link, Ed. The 2 endorsements could help lead other affiliated unions and community groups to get on board a Johnson campaign. But U.S. Representative Jesus Chuy Garcia's indecision on his own run continues to give pause in the mayor's race. None of the political organizations that organized the mayoral forum last week have endorsed a candidate as of Thursday, and Garcia's looming candidacy is said to be a factor, according to a source. The CTU also endorsed aldermanic candidates Muez Bawani and Lori Torres, both CPS teachers, in their campaigns against Alderman Deborah Silverstein of the 5th and the aforementioned Villegas of the 36th, respectively. Now, Deborah Silverstein is my alder person, and I got to tell you guys, I don't have any complaints about her. When we have storms, when stuff's happening, I see her out in the streets doing stuff. Actually, I have respect for the fact that she seems very engaged in the community here, from my perspective, living here. Now, I don't know why CTU is endorsing these other 2 candidates against her and Villegas. That's something I should look into, and I will. But yeah, interesting developments regarding their endorsement. Lainie, do you have any thoughts?
I'm just really concerned that we're going to end up with the clown car like we had in the other mayoral election, where you have 5 million people running. And, and then, granted it was whittled down to the 2 candidates, but I'm just concerned that this is going to get screwed up again. And
Yeah,
we're
too
going
many
to get her back.
candidates. Yeah, too many candidates. Those without name recognition, basically diluting attention to those that might actually have some kind of shot.
I mean, I personally happen to like Raymond Lopez. That's where I'm at with this.
I didn't do that. That's Ed.
What?
I didn't put that graphic up. That's Ed.
That's our Ray Lopez graphic.
I like him.
Okay.
But I mean, I just, this is just a dumpster fire of an administration at this point. I mean, I do feel sympathetic in that. First of all, I do think she got handed a stink bomb. And
she's off in Mexico now while this is going on here.
And you end up with a major global health crisis. We've got a freshman mayor, a freshman governor, with an utterly bizarre federal administration. And I'm sympathetic, but a lot of this has just really taken a nosedive. And it's very unfortunate.
Constipational Conservative joins us tonight. He says whomever the CTU endorses, don't vote for them. Those candidates will capitulate and the students suffer. I don't think so, Constipational Conservative. I do hope that they choose someone with better name recognition for the exact purposes of the fact that the CTU is doing more to serve the interests of the students. I don't think students are suffering under CTU. I think students are suffering under CPS and the mayor, and the fact that we don't have an elected school board here in Chicago where people can actually choose who's doing what, as opposed to the mayor just putting her flunkies in there who are just going to do what she wants all the time. Ed, what do you think?
Yeah, well, I know that we're likely going to see people using hashtag Let's Go Brandon for this guy, which could be confusing.
Lord. Poor guy.
Very confusing that could be for people. And then the other concern is, at least he's not doing like a soda tax right before an election. So he's got that going for him.
Yeah. True. Let me bring up our next story here as I look over to my alternate screen. I forgot my reading glasses. That's why I'm doing all the squinty stuff here. Okay, open it in a new tab.
So
I got it.
So although they endorsed him, he hasn't announced yet. So
yeah, that's the thing. But now, isn't it interesting? Chewy is asking them to take their time to endorse somebody while he's mulling over his decision, and they don't want to accommodate that while this guy hasn't even announced he's running. So
maybe that's a calculation that they don't want to deal with Chewy in this election, and so they prematurely endorsed him so that he would go away.
Who's got the name recognition, but unfortunately has the ties to the tentacles of the neoliberal Democratic machine and party?
Hanky. What does that mean, Vince? Hinky.
Oh, strange.
Weird. Why don't you say strange or weird? Or hinky, that has no meaning.
We say hinky.
I don't want you guys using words around me that got no meaning.
So,
because we got plenty of people in the clown car right now.
Yeah, and that's going to dilute attention from getting, our favorite mayor, Lori Lightfoot.
What a fucking bitch, am I right?
Out of office. That's one of our favorite drop-ins these days when we're not just Lori Lightfoot. We drop in when we're talking about ex-mayor Rahm too.